Communication Arts Center is the home of the Pointer student newspaper. The Pointer is published weekly by a staff of 20 UWSP students with positions in editorial, reporting, design, photography, business, and web development. Each spring, the positions open up and new staff members are brought in. This video will explain some of the positions and help to prepare future applicants.
Well, as editor-in-chief, essentially I'm just responsible for being the facilitator for the whole paper, making sure that section editors are coming up with their stories, sending them to reporters, checking in with them and making sure that those stories are getting done, and then assisting reporters if they have any questions. This is more of a leadership management experience, which is really good for me because I haven't really had a position like that before. So I still am involved actively in determining what kind of content we have each week, but I'm not responsible for going out there and reporting and actually doing it.
My duties include managing the day-to-day activities for the newspaper and making sure we put out a good issue each week. The managing editor position, you really make it what you want it to be. I think the best thing to have by far is the ability to work with a wide range of personality types. I think the paper attracts many different personalities, not just those that are interested in journalism, but you have people that are interested in design, you have business people that on the business end. They tend to have a wide range of personalities, and I think the ability to work with people of different backgrounds is by far the biggest trait you're going to want to have.
My job responsibilities are basically to sift through local, campus, state, and national, and even international news that would be relevant to students at UWSP, and to assign those stories to reporters that could cover it related to students and bring it back to me, and then I send those stories forward to the layout editors. The Pointer has three sections. There's news, sports, and point life. What I do basically is to look for news that are relevant to students. So for example, things that are going on around the state, the UW system, campus politics even, and we look at that stuff and we say, okay, this is something that students need to know about. We assign it to a reporter and get them to cover it. Well, it's an amazing experience. I think it broadens your shoulders. It makes you a stronger writer. It definitely puts you up there. If you're publishing, first of all, I mean, it not only does it look good on a resume, but it looks good for a reason. It looks good because you've been exposed to criticism.
They refer to me as the senior reporter because I've been doing it the longest. I guess my responsibilities is just getting out there, getting interviews, getting stories, coming up with story ideas for future articles, and basically keeping my ear to the ground.
Seeing my writing in print it's exhilarating in and of itself. Meeting new people, cool people, because you gotta think that you're writing a story about these people that are in these stories. So there's obviously interesting people out there, and you get to meet them. So that's always fun.
I think the hardest parts of being a photo editor would probably be becoming creative with stories that aren't photo worthy. So some stories that you may just not have access to getting pictures for, you have to kind of become creative in the photo illustration world. As a photo editor, you should have good photo skills, generally good technical skills. You should have an understanding of lighting, an understanding of journalistic photography as a storyteller, and you should also understand Adobe programs like Photoshop and InDesign.
Basically what my job entails is to take all of the photos and the stories that photographers and the reporters create and put them all together on the computer in a design that we can send to the printer. I also oversee two other designers who design their own sections. Applicants for this position should possess skills to work with a lot of people in a high-stress environment under a very strict deadline. We produce once a week. And you should also be able to solve problems really quickly on the fly. It's kind of like improv almost. A lot of things have to be changed really quickly, and you have to be able to decide what to do with that at the last minute.
Just because you don't have journalism experience doesn't mean that you can't have a position on the Pointer. Actually, a lot of the reporters that we brought on, they didn't have previous journalistic experience working for a school paper or anything like that. They just brought their particular perspective to the job that makes them kind of the person to call upon for that. And if that's something that you bring, some different perspective, as long as you have basic writing skills and an independent work ethic and the ability to communicate, you can be a vital asset to this staff.
Apply today. Email us with your application, resume, and work samples with the subject Hiring.